Please remain standing. Dr. Henry Taylor, Mace Bearer, Professor of Planning, will officially open the ceremony. Professor Taylor.
SUNY Trustee Lewin, UB Council Members Brady and Hayflick, UB Council Emeritus Member Walsh, UB Foundation Board Chairman Litro, President Traparte, Dean Shibley, and distinguished guests, the graduates, the candidates for degrees, the faculty, staff, families, and friends of the graduates and candidates are now assembled. I hereby declare the commencement exercises of the University at Buffalo School of Architecture and Planning to be officially opened.
Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by Miss Catherine Sparks, accompanied by TNT Brass Quintet. Would the gentlemen in the theater please remove your hats?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Pepe, make me live. Please be seated. Please welcome our host for this evening's ceremony, Robert Shibley, Dean of the School of Architecture and Planning.
A very warm welcome to you all. We especially want to welcome all the friends of the school, our distinguished faculty and staff, our alumni, and perhaps most importantly, the friends, family, loved ones, parents of our graduates, and of course, our graduating class of 2017. Welcome to you all. I'm very proud to introduce our platform party today. They represent much of what makes the School of Architecture and Planning such an important enterprise, and indeed, what makes the University at Buffalo such a great public research university. These are the people, faculty and staff, who demand excellence in our programs, people who represent our graduates at work as professionals in the community and the world, members of the community, many of them alumni who have committed their energies and their fortunes to the betterment of the institution, and members of the leadership team that guide the continuing development of our university. We're especially delighted to have so many distinguished guests on the platform party to join our faculty and staff in celebrating this occasion. I would ask that the audience please hold applause until all the introductions are complete. And I'll ask the platform party to please stand briefly to be recognized when I call your name so that they can distinguish you from everyone else. We'll start then with the State University of New York Board of Trustee Eunice Ashman Lewin. Up, down, got it, okay. University Council members Robert Brady and June Williams Hayflick. Emeritus member of the UB Council and UB Foundation member John N. Walsh III, Jack Walsh. University of Buffalo Foundation Chairman Francis Litro and Cindy Abbott Litro, longtime friends of the school. University at Buffalo President Satish Tripathi. University at Buffalo Vice Provost for Graduate Education Graham Hamill, who will be conferring our degrees today. And University at Buffalo Vice Provost Robert Granville, Lee Melvin, and Teresa Miller. Associate Vice President for University Facilities, Kevin Thompson. The School of Architecture and Planning Dean's Council members, Richard Perlmutter, Alfonso O'Neill White, Peter Hunt, and Bradley Lukanik. Former Dean and Professor of Architecture, Brian Carter. Architecture and Planning Associate Deans, Bruce Majkowski, Subaya Manthram, and Corridon Smith. Architecture and Planning Assistant Deans, Robert Hill, R.J. Moltari, Shannon Phillips, and Rachel Tiemann. Department Chairs Omar Khan and Ernie Sternberg. Henry Taylor, who you met, Professor of Planning and serving today as the bearer of the mace, symbolic of the academic authority and the faculty of the university. We have a voice contest every year for who should do that. Henry always wins. Commencement speaker and Dean's Medal recipient, Diane Georgopoulos. SUNY Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence recipient, Madeline Britt, graduating today from the Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Design program. Madeline is the school's fourth consecutive recipient of the SUNY Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence. We're pleased to welcome today Olga Lowney, Raquel Halty, Nathaniel Mendel, and they are here today to honor our Dean's Medal recipients Ted Lowney and Mark Mendel. Tracy Konheiser-Uwe, President-elect of the Western New York chapter of the American Institute of Architects and also an alumnus of the school. And Jonathan Bluer, Director of the Western New York section of the American Planning Association and an alumnus of the school. Also joining us on the platform party is a significant number of our full faculty and staff. They're here to provide their continued support and to acknowledge the achievements of our students. Will the faculty and staff please stand, including those of you that might be in the audience? Give them a hand. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge our performers today, the TNT Brass Quintet, soloist Catherine Sparks, and Kayla Walton, a harpist. Please join me in expressing our appreciation for their work in the acknowledgement of all of the platform party. We are very fortunate to have with us today Dr. Satish Tripathi to offer greetings from the university. I'm under strict instructions not to provide a lengthy introduction. It's sufficient to know that he is an internationally distinguished researcher and higher education leader. He was appointed the 15th president of the university in 2011. I would also point out when he arrives up here that between the two of us, there are 2 doctorates, 4 master's degree and 1 baccalaureate degree. I don't have a PhD, so he's got 2 of them, and he has 3 master's degrees, so you sort of know where I stand in this mix. Dr. Tripathi.
As you can see, Bob did not follow instructions. Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to offer a warm welcome to the parents and family members joining us. As we honor our graduates today, we also honor your support and guidance, which have helped our students reach this great milestone. Most of all, we are here to celebrate you, the 2017 class of the School of Architecture and Planning. Congratulations. Reaching this milestone is a great personal achievement, but your graduation is deeply meaningful in a public sense as well. As a UB graduate, what you have learned and discovered here and what you will do with this knowledge has tremendous significance for the communities that you are part of. These communities begin with your circle of family and friends and extend to your neighborhood, your nation, and the global community. These aren't separate spheres, they are closely connected. You are graduating in a world where the local and the global, the personal and the public, increasingly intersect. What happens in the arena of world affairs affects us on a daily basis. The challenges we face personally and as a society have no borders, from medical and public health threats to economic, educational, and social inequalities to environmental concerns impacting the future of our planet. These problems are multifaceted and complex, spanning the globe and cutting across a wide range of disciplines, fields, institutions, and communities. So now, more than ever, we need ideas, solutions, innovations, and collaborations that transcend borders of all kinds: geographic, cultural, disciplinary, and ideological. We need globally minded citizens who are ready to come together to tackle these challenges. We need thoughtful, knowledgeable leaders who bring both proven experience and an open mind to the forefront. We need pioneering problem solvers who reach beyond their immediate frame of reference to embrace and learn from many different points of view. That is where you come in. Your UB education has prepared you for exactly this kind of engaged global citizenship. It has prepared you to engage with and empathize with others, to recognize our shared humanity and common concerns despite cultural and geographic differences. It has emphasized the importance of building bridges across borders to solve challenges that transcend borders. UB, as a large, internationalized university whose members come from all over the world, mirrors the complexity of the world around us through our ideological and cultural diversity. And as a core element of our mission as a public research university, we are committed to ensuring that our ideas and discoveries make the world around us a better place, from our local neighborhoods to our global community. As citizens, you are perhaps the most powerful embodiment of our university's mission. As UB students, you have already begun responding to global challenges, working directly with faculty and scholars who are leading the conversation in and beyond their fields. You have contributed to solutions and discoveries that change how communities approach issues such as affordable housing, accessibility, and sustainable building. You and your classmates will have a powerful local, national, and global impact. You have already demonstrated that by harnessing urban design strategies to transform struggling neighborhoods right here in Buffalo, creating solutions that provide children with disabilities access to sanitation facilities in low-income countries, and employing architectural principles that improve refugees' resettlements around the world. Now, as UB graduates, you're part of a long-standing UB tradition, joining a global network of more than 250,000 alumni in nearly 150 countries around the world, all dedicated to using their UB education to make a difference in the world. The challenges you will be called on to address reflect universal concerns facing humanity in every community around the globe. And the communities you are part of, here and beyond, will surely be richer for your contributions and insights. Class of 2017, we can't wait to see how you will use your UB education to make a difference in the world. Congratulations on your great achievements and all the best wishes on the road ahead. Thank you. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Eunice Lewin, Trustee of the State University of New York.
Thank you, President Tripathi. Good evening, everyone. Maybe we can try it again. Good evening. I am thrilled to be here with you today to this very happy and special celebration. On behalf of the State University of New York, I'm honored to bring you warm greetings from Board of Trustee Chairman H. Carl McCall, my fellow trustee, and Chancellor Nancy Zimfer. Most of all, congratulations to the class of 2017. This is a proud day for everyone here, for our graduates, and for all of the family, friends, and mentors who have helped along the way. Today, we celebrate your success as student and the important contribution that you have made to our UB and SUNY communities. Earning a degree from the School of Architecture and Planning is certainly an achievement to be proud of, and it will open many doors of opportunity. This includes the many opportunities that await your school's very first with a PhD in urban and regional planning. Heartfelt congratulations on achieving this impressive milestone and for undertaking this daunting task as a pioneer of the school's new doctoral program. Congratulations. You are truly opening new doors of opportunity, not only for yourself, but as a trailblazer for others to follow in the years ahead. The doctoral programs here at UB and across SUNY are a central part of our research mission for the university and the greater system. As a global leader in graduate education, SUNY offers programs at more than 24 institutions across New York. Our doctoral graduates have a significant impact on the region, the state, and the nation's economy, as well as on social and cultural life. And SUNY's impact in this area will continue to grow as more doctoral programs like the one developed in this school are created and flourish. Today's first PhD graduate of the School of Architecture and Planning, and all of today's graduates and undergraduate students are a vital part of this legacy of leadership. Now, you all are poised to join this proud tradition. And I expect we will be talking about and celebrating your many achievements in the years to come. Once again, my sincere congratulations. You make the University at Buffalo and the State University of New York very, very proud. Congratulations.
Thank you, President Tripathi and Trustee Lewin. You've heard a lot of people talk about what you do and why they're proud. We've seen you now more than ever as the folks who can address the societal needs in the future that are best addressed through the way architects and planners and environmental designers think. You brought vision, courage, creativity, and grit, and it's all made manifest in a national reputation and international reputation for our school and our professional degree programs. Congratulations again to the class of 2017. It's now my pleasure to announce the recipients of the School of Architecture and Planning Dean's Medal. It's the highest award bestowed by the school. The Dean's Medal honors individuals who have made outstanding contributions to the professions of architecture and planning and to the betterment of our world through inspirational practice, scholarship, and leadership. Past recipients include such notable figures as futurist R. Buckminster Fuller and Magda Cordell McHale, environmental leader Bill McKibben, artist and landscape architect Walter Hood, and Buffalo developer and New York State economic development leader Howard Zemsky, and many others. Today, I am pleased to present 3 Dean's Medals. The first to be awarded to Diane Georgopoulos, our honored guest who will shortly address the class of 2017 with her commencement speech. Diane earned her bachelor's degree in environmental design from the University at Buffalo in 1973 and a master's degree in architecture from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. She practiced architecture for most of 3 decades for the former Massachusetts Housing Finance Agency and was a founding member of the Dean's Council of the School of Architecture and Planning here at UB. Diane has a distinguished public architecture career, serving until her recent retirement as manager of design and construction for Mass Housing, as it is now known, overseeing construction finance for a $3 billion rental portfolio for one of the nation's leading affordable housing agencies. Architects indeed and planners have varied careers. Highlights of that career include her role in developing design guidelines for Elder Choice Program, a pioneering model for integrating services for frail elderly in residential settings, a project for which the Mass Housing won the Ford Foundation's Innovations in American Government Award in 1995. She was also a project manager for Boston's $275 million rendition of the HUD Demonstration Disposition Program, engaging public housing residents in a participatory process to renovate 1,852 units of affordable family housing, promote new forms of home ownership, and foster fundamental community and economic development. Her professional work was recognized in 2005, when the American Institute of Architects bestowed on her the Thomas Jefferson Award for Architecture in Public Service. We honor Diane for all of this and much other work in the service of profession and community in Boston. But we also honor her for her role as a pioneer here in our school. She was a member of the inaugural class of the undergraduate students in environmental design. Her service on the Dean's Council has made her a consistent and present champion for that program. She has been a practitioner and remains today an eloquent advocate for the role of environmental designers as leaders and managers of interdisciplinary teams engaging iterative processes of problem definition, criteria setting, alternatives development and testing, implementation and evaluation. All of these are needed to confront the complexity of contemporary problems. Diane, would you please join me at the podium? You're going to have to take your hat off. For all of your achievements, for the inspiration of your example, and for your continuing advocacy, I am pleased to present you with the University of Buffalo School of Architecture and Planning Dean's Medal for 2017.
There's a tab here with my speech in it. Okay, here we go. So, thank you, Dean Shibley, and the entire SUNY community for this very special recognition. Coming from my alma mater, it is truly the capstone of my architectural career. It's impossible for me to tell you just how fast 48 years can go by. From my first steps on the Bailey Avenue campus in 1979, where I entered as a freshman, to being with you here today. Standing in front of you and addressing you today, feeling the pride of your parents and your friends and your classmates. It's just a thrilling, heart-stopping feeling for me, realizing that it was 44 years ago today when I sat where you're sitting. And as I share with you today a thought of self-reflection, borrowing a line from T.S. Eliot, we shall not cease from exploration, and at the end of all of our exploring, we will arrive where we started and know that place for the first time. This is how I feel today, being with you. Buffalo in 1969 was an eventful place. It was a microcosm of everything that was going on nationally. Political upheaval, disorienting academic choices, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. There were good times, there were bad times, and there were our times. Finding my footing in that tumult was not easy. I retreated into the subjects that I loved: classical archaeology, art history, urban anthropology, and then I found my new love, environmental design, which is ultimately where I made my academic home. There was an intellectually free environment to experiment and explore the kinds of issues and ideas that genuinely excited me. It was not unlike the fairy tale of the ugly duckling. The environmental design department seemed to be made of people just like me. We weren't misfits to each other, although we were clearly outside the norm of conventional academic inquiry. And we liked it that way. We delighted in our difference. And I imagine that I am in a very large pool today with you, my dearest ducklings, the new graduates. Much of the success that I have had comes from getting up every day to do the work I enjoyed, doing things with my free time that enhanced my work because I was genuinely interested in learning more about architecture and the environment, and having the great fortune to work for a quasi-public agency that paid me to perform work that aligned with my own values. As you get older, you will realize that thinking, acting, and feeling in a unified manner is a very difficult thing to do. Your heart goes in one direction and your mind goes in another. And this is the challenge of adulthood. My work was as much about developing particular expertise in affordable housing development as much as it was helping others in need find safe, decent, safe, affordable housing. This confluence of skills, interest, and values was indeed fortuitous. The advantage of going where you are needed is that when your work is done, there is a reward beyond your paycheck. It's a wonderful thing to walk in neighborhoods and see the culmination of 30 years of gut rehabs and new construction to support the lives of so many families, seniors, and people with special needs. Although we will probably never have the number of houses and apartments for everyone who needs one, a lesson that I have learned is that having a positive attitude towards struggle for the greater good is sometimes more rewarding than achieving a personal, smaller goal. In other words, if it's not impossible, don't bother trying to do it. Now that you've finished your coursework and degree and you're about to enter that path of your working life, you may be hoping for wisdom, wealth, excellence, fame, satisfaction, usefulness, artfulness. It's an expansive list of possible goals that you have each set for yourselves. I thought it might be best to share an operating manual, so to speak, about what tools I recommend you master to navigate a successful career. These are 5 surprisingly succinct and easy to remember rules of the road in business that may not ensure success, but if followed, will avoid failure. The first time I heard these rules codified was while I was listening to an interview with Susan Buffett, the daughter of the Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett, the billionaire. She was speaking about these 5 rules as they were given to her by her deceased mother, Susie Buffett, who died in 2004. When I heard them, I had such a sense of recognition. I wish somebody had told me about these rules before. And search as I might to find Susan's exact words, I'm relying on my memory to tell you what I remember of that interview. These were the 5 rules. The first is be on time. You telegraph so much about how you regard your colleagues when you are on time, and so much when you are late. When you are late, you are basically saying to your associates, you're not important. Nobody likes to feel unimportant. The second rule is pay attention. Keep your mind under control. When you see it wandering, it is your job to get it under proper focus. Turn off your cell phones and get them out of view during meetings. If others are playing with their phones, don't take yours out. The distraction of cell phones is a very clear impediment to paying attention. The third rule is don't lie. In this time of situational ethics in business, it would seem convenience and expediency supersede facts, where lying is tolerated, if not indulged. Try to see lying as a type of drug that makes you dependent on more and more lying. Remember Sir Walter Scott's words, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive." Be alert to what you say and try not to lie. If you do lie, be quick to correct yourself to those to whom you've told the lie. If you are confronted by someone to whom you have lied, admit it, apologize sincerely, and move on once your apology has been accepted. The fourth rule is do your best. There is no coulda, shoulda, woulda. If you must do homework after business hours, it counts. Do it. If you consistently do your best, there are no regrets about how things ultimately turn out. Doing your best is a question of judgment. If you have 2 weeks to do a project, plan your time. If you have 2 hours to do a project, plan your time. Do not fool yourselves, as I know we can, into thinking that you can do a 2-week project in 2 hours and have it be your best work. And the 5th rule, don't be attached to the outcome. This is the most difficult rule, or at least it is for me. We all identify with our work, for better or worse, and so when a project is completed, we tend to retain ownership over it as though it were somehow materially related to us. This is not true. The projects have lives of their own. Detaching from outcomes is probably the hardest thing to do because our identities and egos are so intertwined with our sense of what it is to be successful. I hope you find these 5 rules useful, if only as only a reminder of the paradox that while others have been on this path, your path is your own. In closing, let me say that I've always been very proud to be a graduate from the school and cherish the years that I spent in Buffalo. I discovered so much about the person I was and wanted to become. There are lifelong friendships among the faculty and classmates, relationships that I would not exchange for the world. People who have stood alongside me, assisting, guiding, cajoling, consoling, and inspiring me to go on to the next step to become the woman that I am. They've helped me see my failures as a way to understand better what I need to do to change in order to succeed. And for that, I am deeply grateful. I'll finish with Eliot's words. What we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. So I sincerely thank you for this wonderful recognition and wish you the good luck in this new beginning. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane, for that inspiring address for our graduates. I also have the honor today of presenting the Dean's Medal posthumously to 2 beloved friends of the school and renowned leaders in the architecture profession. They are Theodore Ted Lowney, founding principal of the Buffalo firm Hamilton Houston Lowney Architects, and a faculty member in our program for more than 3 decades. And Mark Mendel, former president and co-chairman of Canon Design, a global design firm with deep connections to our school. Mark was also one of our 6 charter members of the Dean's Council with Diane. Ted Lowney's life and career demonstrated the value of longevity and steadfastness in pursuit of excellence. His legacy is everywhere, in the buildings he designed, the architectural treasures he helped restore, in the people and professionals that he touched and shaped. Ted was thinking and talking about the value of Frank Lloyd Wright's Darwin Martin House when Martin and Margie Meyerson, were still living in it. They were past presidents and first lady of our university. He was a friend of the Olmsted Parks before there was a Delaware Park Steering Committee, let alone an organization called the Friends of the Buffalo Olmsted Parks, or now the Conservancy. And he guided these restoration projects and more: Kleinhans Music Hall, the Albright Knox Art Gallery, St. Mary of Sorrows, the Roycroft Campus, the Common Council Chambers in Buffalo City Hall, from conception to completion. In so doing, he changed the future of Buffalo by preserving its past. But he also helped transform our collective consciousness about the meaning and value of our shared built environment. Ted Lowney is one of the first friends of the School of Architecture and Environmental Design, as we were known back then, teaching in the evening division of our formative years and beyond. He and his partners, Mike Hamilton and Fred Houston, were staunch supporters of our founding dean, John Eberhard, and personal friends with early faculty members, Michael Brill, Terry Collison, and others. They taught design studio and other courses frequently over the decades, Ted as recently as 2007. He is remembered by his students for his gentle humor, his generous criticism, and insistence on excellence. His firm hired many of our graduates. Many more have gone on to distinguished careers in architecture here and around the nation. I would like to ask Ted's wife, Olga, to please join me at the podium. Gotta find the right one. Olga, Ted Lowney committed his energy and his talent to our school, our city, and the world. You know, over decades, 6 decades, from junior architect to professional leader to senior statesman. We are grateful to him for his contribution to the quality of the world we live in and the strength of our profession. For all this, I'm pleased to present the University at Buffalo School of Architecture and Planning Dean's Medal for 2017 to Theodore L. Lowney. In addition, the school wishes to further honor and preserve Ted's legacy by creating a scholarship bearing his name. We look forward to fulfilling this aspiration and partnering with others in this community as we do so. Olga, thank you.
Thank you.
Our third Dean's Medal for 2017 is awarded to honor Mark Mendel. In 1974, Don Cannon recruited a talented young designer named Mark Mendel to leave Boston and join his firm in Grand Island. Don and his brother Will Cannon had an ambition that their profitable regional meat and potatoes, and that's in quotes, architecture firm could be something greater than it was. Mendel made the move, and as history would show, achieved a vision substantially grander than that of his employers. 41 years later, Mark retired as president and co-chairman of a firm with 1,000 professionals in 16 offices in 4 countries and a ranking among the best architecture firms in the world. Mark was the lead designer for the Occidental Chemical Center in Niagara Falls and the first double-skinned office building in North America, and still a model of energy efficiency. Completed in 1980, the design made the profession sit up and take notice of this firm from the hinterland. Mendel, however, understood that the growth of the firm required that he move up and move over to accommodate this kind of design talent that Cannon would need to achieve his vision. He became a master of recruitment, an expert reader of resumes, a penetrating interviewer, and a student of evaluation and methods of advancement. He studied the staff rosters of competing firms for prospective hires. Mark was concerned with ensuring the right fit and the right mix of personnel. He sought professionals who were multidimensional and well-balanced, who were curious, possessed of good visual abilities, and who were as interested in their clients as they were in the ideas that underpin professional practice. He built relationships with the University at Buffalo, the Rhode Island School of Design, his alma mater, and others like Penn State to locate the upcoming talent. He worked to set an environment in which expectations were high, risk-taking was rewarded, and encouragement was plentiful. And he replaced himself as design leader over and over again, always pushing others forward to nourish the ecosystem of excellence. All of this, of course, was the product of hard work, and Mark's work ethic was legendary. He had a drive and intensity that was impossible to miss. His adopted motto, never satisfied. But passion and intellect alone could not get done what he achieved. Mark also had the ability to connect to people. Talking to Mark gave a person the feeling they were the only 2 people in the room. He had a deep personal relationship with many. Once you entered his fold, he was a staunch and active advocate. He was the best mentor a person could have. Mark's obituaries all mentioned his love of motorcycles, but they missed the deeper meaning of that particular passion. The appreciation of the machine and the experience of riding one exemplified his attachment to the combination of power and control, of dynamism and precision that he brought to his work in architecture. I would like to ask his wife, Raquel Halty, and son, Nathaniel Mendel, to join me at the podium. See, the good news is you don't have to take your hats off, because I give you the box, right? So Mark built a great international architectural firm. He had many friends. He was a friend to this school and a founding member of our council. Canon Design has made a leadership gift to the school in architecture and planning in recognition of the firm's deep connections to the school and as a tribute to the former Canon Design president and co-chairman, Mark Mendel, who served as our founding member of the Dean's Schools Council. The Canon Design Mark Mendel Studio, a collaborative design workspace in Hayes Hall for graduate architecture students, was dedicated at the formal reception in Hayes Hall earlier this afternoon. The support comes on top of the firm's recent reinforcement of its Canon Design Scholars Program, for which nearly 20 years has provided tuition scholarships and intern opportunities to top students in the undergraduate architecture program. Many of these scholars now hold leadership positions with the firm. It's a global firm that operates 15 offices around the world. Canon Design maintains a strong presence in Buffalo. The proximity to UB has fostered a long and diverse history of engagement across two organizations, from student internships and mentoring to employment for graduates to research partnerships with faculty. For all of this and so much more, I am pleased to award the 2017 School of Architecture and Planning Dean's Medal to Mark Mendel. Before we begin the conferral of degrees, take a breath, reflect on the words spoken by Diane, and think of the lives of Mark and Ted, and enjoy a short musical interlude as Kayla Walton plays The Nightingale by Deborah Henson Conant. I'll give you the words as she sets up. Who will sing for the nightingale when the night is gone, when the daylight comes? Who will sing for the nightingale when she sleeps alone in the sun? Many's the time her silken tones soothed my rough and weary bones. Many's the time her lullaby brought me to my rest. Who will sing for the nightingale? Her own sweet song is silent now. Who will sing for the nightingale when she sleeps alone in the sun? Kayla. Thank you, Kayla.